This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
So the very first show on the tour in July of '86 was on the 1st in Philadelphia at Veterans Stadium. $215,000 at the gate. Jim Cornette would note in his book it was a record. He says, right off the bat, the gate for Philly Bash has been the subject of debate for many years.
Yes.
With floor tickets at $50 and all others $20, both Flair and JC estimated the crowd by eyeballing it at over 15,000. It definitely wouldn't have fit in the Philly Civic Center, the 12,000 seat indoor arena that we ran regularly. Promoter Elliot Mernick reported 215 grand, and for the first time in the Midnight's tenure in JCP, the top talent was openly hot about the figure reported. How about that?
Yeah.
Openly hot. And we'll come back to that. Here's Magnum for now.
There's not anything left to yell and scream about because my insides are so busted up that I don't feel like yelling and screaming anymore. But I like insurmountable odds. I like people to tell me that I can't do something, that there's something that I can't accomplish. Because Nikita is a whole long way before this thing will be over. You and I have met. You've caused me a whole lot of pain. Pain to me is inspirational. But let's find out what happens when it gets turned around and you're begging for that next breath of air. When you don't know which way to turn, I'm coming back. You try to stop me, I wouldn't expect anything else, but you're not going to do it. The bashes are still going on. And until you put me down for the 4 matches, the belt's going to come back to me. I'll take you any way I can right here in the bash. Let's go.
It's so crazy to think about 90 days later, he's done.
How about the cuts he had on his forehead on that one, man?
Unbelievable. And here we see your man, Black Bart.
Yeah.
Going to be defending his territory belt against Ronnie Garvin. Anyway, tell me about Elliot Mernick. We've talked about this a little bit before.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see it here in print. I want to mention too, you guys were off on the 2nd. On the 3rd, you're running another stadium, this time in Washington, D.C. You're going to get 135 grand at the gate, also a record. Then Memphis on the 4th, Charlotte on the 5th, Raleigh on the 6th, Greenville on the 7th, Spartanburg on the 8th, Cincinnati on the 9th, Charleston on the 10th, Roanoke on the 11th, Jacksonville on the 12th. You get what I'm saying? Well, the tour is real.
Yeah. You're
on the road every freaking day, but you do have an off day after this rather controversial Philly show. What do you remember about this?
Okay. Here's what I remember, because I'm not so sure if I was in the press box or in a suite, or probably in the press box. I don't think the old stadiums had suites. Could have, but I was sitting up watching the event, and I'm not so sure who I was with, but I remember Elliot Mernick coming up, and we were like going, man, look at this crowd. This is going to be a big gate. And I thought everybody was pretty excited about it. Elliot comes up and he said, and I asked him, I said, what's the gate? He said 215. And I remember thinking, as soon as he said it, that's not right. That can't be right. Even, a young guy who hasn't been in the sport a long time, it didn't look like 215 to me. And I didn't know what the ticket prices were. But I do remember also talking to talent. Tully was obviously one of the more outspoken ones.
Really?
Yes. And they all thought that something was wrong. And many thought that and Elliot's no longer with us. A lot of people never trusted Elliot Mernick. Never did. And he was the Mernicks and the Crockett's were longtime friends. The Mernicks ran, the eastern part of North Carolina for the Crockett's, Raleigh. If they ran Durham, if they ran out on the coast, they were Roanoke, they ran there. They never trusted them. They never trusted the Mernicks and I'm not so sure which talent told me this, but they said it's a typical Mernick gate.
Oh.
So, and that goes back to not trusting old time promoters. Forever the boys never trusted the promoters.
Well, listen, here's the thing that I always struggle with.
Yeah.
You say that, guys like Tully didn't trust, but we also know they didn't. I mean, he didn't particularly trust Jim Crockett either. He's going to leave here in just a couple of years.
Yeah, right. There was a distrust with promoters. They all thought that promoters always gave you the gate, that the gate was not accurate. That let's say it was a $300,000 gate that night in Philadelphia, and they reported 212. They paid you off of the 212. And then there was another $88,000 that they kept for themselves. Could have been, I don't know, but I know there was a lot of distrust. I know there was a lot of anger about that as well. And this was also the first Great American Bash where we almost got shut down. I've told that story.
Yep.
A member of the Pennsylvania Athletic Commission didn't want the blood and complained about it, was in the locker room with, I never forget, cowboy boots, white shirt, jeans, big tall guy with gray hair, comb straight back, and a really arrogant prick. And when he came to the locker room, Dusty threw him out and he was going to shut us down. And the show did delay for a little bit until we talked him into it. Jimmy talked him into it, which I thought was great. I do remember vividly Jimmy saying, what can we do to remedy this situation to him? And he said nothing. You're shut down. He walked away. And the group followed him. And I remember Doug Dellinger saying the show would have gone on that night. We had arranged to lock him in a room to where he wasn't going to get out. I said, wow. So some pretty good behind the scenes stuff for that Philadelphia show.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just, they didn't want to see the blood. The athletic commissions didn't. And it's a good thing Chris Cruz wasn't there because he would have reported it to everybody.
I love that you remember that.
Yeah, Weasley fucker. Okay, run.
What's his reputation in real life?
Weasel motherfucker.
Really? I say I never know. I don't know him. I never met him.
Well, yeah.
So you've always regarded him as a Weasley motherfucker.
Well, you always looked at him and think, yeah. And then now, after what he did with AEW and everything, I'm biased.
Of course.
I get it. If you're going to try to fuck.
Wait a minute. You favor people who pay you money?
Yeah.
Oh, so that makes you like, what does that make you? Like human? Like loyal?
Yeah.
Those fucking words? Are you like loyal?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Yep. It's like, Troll of the Year. Well, I shouldn't call him Troll of the Year. Piece of shit of the year. Adam DeMoy commented that I'm just shilling for AEW. And I said, oh, gee whiz. I'm sure you wouldn't shill for Georgia Pacific or whatever company you work for.
Right.
And then he went on to say, well, actually, I did make a bad comment about the company on social media and got reprimanded for it.
Why'd you do? So did you stop? You quitter?
So that just proves how big of a dumbass he really is. I mean, you fucking dumbass.
You ever hear some of my commercials and think to yourself, that sounds too good to be true. That's probably malarkey. Here's the deal, man. It's real.
So what made us go to savewithconrad.com is we were looking to refinance anyways. And I heard one of the ads on the podcast, and I went to my wife and said, hey, there's this guy who does all these wrestling podcasts that I listen to. And we ended up calling and making our first appointment, and everything was pain-free. We had a great experience. So we actually got to work with Larry, and that was really cool to get to work with Conrad's dad. We got to hear a little bit about Conrad as a kid, so that was definitely kind of fun. If I had a question, I could go to Larry, and within either 5 minutes, I either have an email with the answer or letting me know that he would have the answer to me and about what time I would get that. So Larry was actually able to put together a plan where we took 5 years off the life of our loan. So we went to a shorter mortgage. We completely shaved off a full year, and we were able to save $150 a month on top of what we were currently paying. We were also able to completely drop our PMI, which is something I really despised paying. I want to say it was about $47,000. So over the life of our mortgage, we're definitely going to be able to afford college by the time our little guy gets there. Somebody was actually interested in it, but just kind of on the fence. What I would say to ease your concern is just give them a call. One of the things that they always mention in their ads is that there's no obligation. There was no pressure on our side whatsoever. Go to savewithconrad.com.
We're routinely helping wrestling fans around the country, just like you, save tens of thousands of dollars. But how much can you save? Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.